Sometimes you think things are falling apart, but what if they're actually falling into place? Every ending, every heartbreak, every moment that felt like failure wasn't life turning against you. What if it was life reflecting you back to yourself? You were never meant to lose. In fact, what if you can't lose? What if the entire universe is set up for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's for you to awaken? In this video, we're going to go deep into that. And we're going to go into why nothing's actually ever going wrong, how the universe is always working in your favor, and how awakening out of the illusion changes everything you experience in the 3D reality. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss this one. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I teach manifestation, mostly the Neville Goddard way. There's so many other influences and teachers that I draw from as well, but you'll hear me quote Neville the most. And I help you to peel back the false layers of programming so that you can awaken to your true divine nature and live as the infinite creator you already are. So let's get right into it. The mirror principle, that's where we have to start, right? The world isn't happening to you, it's happening through you as a mirror of your consciousness. Every situation, every trigger, every problem is showing you you. A reflection showing you what you believe deeply to be true about yourself. Neville said, the world is yourself pushed out. That means your 3D reality is nothing but the projection of your inner assumptions, your inner, most deeply held beliefs. When something painful shows up, it's not meant as punishment. It's a loving reflection. I know that can be hard to hear, but it's important to sort of ask yourself if you believe that. Do you believe this is a benevolent universe? Do you believe that it's based on love? It's something to ask yourself, because if you start to recognize that and believe that, you'll get more and more evidence of that. Likewise, if you believe that you're in this alone and life is meant for suffering and, blah, 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 whatever else, I don't know what else could be down that road, but you'll get more evidence of that. So it is a loving reflection. It's a loving reflection so that you can know yourself on the deepest level possible. You cannot see your own eyes until you look into a mirror, right? So likewise, you can't see your own belief system, your own operating system, if you will, because you're operating from it. It seems like normal to you. You can't really see this until you see it reflected back to you through these physical circumstances that are really real. So your reality is always showing you the assumptions and identities you're living from so that you can finally see them. And if you don't prefer them, you can choose differently, right? We're not meant to be bound by what we see out there. We're meant to look at it, observe it, and know if it's not what we want, we have the power to change it. So that's what I mean when I say it's a loving reflection. And it is a graceful and loving reflection. I know that if you're suffering, that's hard to hear, but it is truth. And, thinking that you're just meant to suffer doesn't feel very good. At least thinking that this is being shown to you as a loving reflection so that you can change it feels better, right? Just check in with yourself. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but if you kind of take these options, like this is just a world where I'm meant to suffer and deal with whatever is being dealt to me, check in and see how that concept feels, and then check in with the concept of, oh, it's all a reflection being lovingly shown to me so that I can choose again if I don't like it. See how that concept feels. And then, what do you do with that? Well, the one that feels good is the one that's correct if you're listening to your emotions as guidance. Maybe a topic for another video. Leave me a comment down below if you want to see more about that. So on with this video right now. So it's love wearing a disguise of challenge, trying to wake you up from the illusion that you are powerless, that you are separate, and that you are broken. You are not any of those things. So, most of us grow up believing life is a game of winning and losing. But what if the truth is you can never lose in this game? You literally cannot lose. You are an infinite being of pure consciousness, eternal, divine, powerful, and indestructible. Nothing in 3D reality can ever harm you and harm who you truly are. You can never actually fail. You can, however, experience contrast that helps you remember your truth if you let it. Even when you forget, even when you fall asleep in the dream, consciousness never stops evolving. It's literally the driving force of your beingness. You never stop pushing towards expanding and towards awakening, whether you know it or not. What looks like failure is just the universe saying, hey, here's what you are holding within yourself. This is you, not a punishment or a destiny, but you. The relationship that ends, the job that collapses, the identity that crumbles, these aren't losses. They are simply reflections. They are showing you more of you. And sometimes it takes pain and some amount of suffering to shake us awake. That's just the truth. Otherwise, we're not paying attention. We're just going on in our illusion, right? So we have to really have something that gets our attention. And for a lot of us, that thing that gets our attention is pain and suffering. So it's oftentimes these losses that shake you free from the false self that you thought you were. And that's why awakening can sometimes feel like suffering, because it's trying to dissolve everything that isn't real. Neville once said, you must die to what you are before you can live as what you desire to be. And sometimes, if not every time, that death is painful. The ego clings to what's familiar and what it thinks you need to believe in order to stay safe and stay alive, hence the programming of lack and scarcity. But the very things the ego clings to are the things that cause so much pain. Feeling not enough, feeling unworthy, thinking we can never have our desires. These things feel painful. And that is the very thing that starts to shake you awake. Again, if you let it. If you understand that you are not meant to suffer and you are not meant to be in this pain, the pain is an indication that something is off. It's a wake-up call. Something is wrong and something is out of place. The pain is not punishment. It's a signal that something is wrong, that something needs to be changed. When you stop labeling your experiences as good or bad, you realize that everything is working towards one goal, to bring you back home to remembrance of who you truly are. So I want to expand on this really quickly, because it is literally this labeling, or you can call it judging, things in your 3D reality as good or bad that causes the suffering. It's not the experience itself, it's your label of, if you label something as good, you're going to feel good. If you label something as bad, you're going to feel bad. It's your judgment of the experience that is causing the suffering. But if you can remember, let's say you initially have an experience and, it's sort of ingrained in us to, I like this, I don't like this, right? To do that thing. It's perfectly fine to recognize you don't like something, you don't prefer it, but it's when we go and start to label it as bad that we start to suffer. So rather than labeling it as bad, maybe you can see this is not my preference, but this is me. I must have been holding an assumption for this to show up. What would I be assuming, right? So we don't have to label this thing showing up as bad. That is what causes the suffering. It's not the thing showing up, even if it's not your preference. It's the judgment that causes the suffering. So we want to take the judgment out of it and recognize, if this is something that I don't prefer, okay, well, I don't need to judge it as good or bad. I just need to see it as showing me more of me. So I can now use this to awaken to more of my truth. I don't have to label this as bad, right? Because remember, it's not bad. It's lovingly being shown to you so that what? You can see more of you. So it's not bad. I hope that makes sense. It's the judgment that causes the suffering. So, to wake you up from the illusion, this is what your good, bad circumstances are doing. It's trying to wake you up from the illusion that you are ever separate from the power that creates worlds, or even from your circumstances. You're not separate from any of it. All of that is illusion. Only then can you use the contrast, the good or the bad, as it was intended to be used. The contrast is not meant to be there to cause you suffering. It's meant to be there to wake you up. That's literally what it's for. So you can have more and more experiences of contrast and not judgment, but experience the contrast, experience what you want, what you don't want. What you don't want is just showing you. So you were never destined to fail. The entire structure of the universe, the law, the mirror, the reflection, it's all built to bring you back to what? To yourself. Every assumption eventually reveals itself. Every belief plays out until you realize you are the operant power. That's the contrast manifestation that we're living in. Even when you mess up, you learn, if you let it, right? Even when you fall, you rise higher in your awareness, if you let it. There's no version of this where you actually lose. That's the trick. That's the grandest illusion of all. There's no loss. There's only awakening. You are consciousness playing the game of remembering itself, and every move you make, even the ones that feel wrong, are all leading back to that remembrance. In other words, the game is rigged in your favor. It always has been. At some point, you start to notice the mirror isn't that scary anymore, right? When you stop judging it, you stop fearing your reflections and you start using them. When something triggers you, you no longer spiral. You pause and you understand what it is. You ask, what is this showing me about me? And in that awareness, you wake up and discover yourself a little bit more. That's awakening. And this awakening isn't a one-time thing, by the way. It's an ongoing, never-ending process. So, if it feels like everything is falling apart right now, even if right now when you're watching this video, I want you to try to take a deep breath and integrate some of what I'm sharing with you in this video. And if you can, come around to not judging it, allowing it to be okay. Again, you might have to take a breath. Take a breath, allow it to be okay. It's just the old illusion showing itself to you. And if you let it, it's going to collapse under the weight of you awakening to the truth. And your job is to let it. Let it collapse. Let it fall. Because it has to. If you want something higher to fill in, you have to be willing to let go of what already is. What's coming next is greater clarity, greater expansion, greater alignment with your true self. Nothing is ever going wrong here. Every experience has been serving you highly, serving your remembrance of who you truly are. You've never lost anything real because the real you can't be lost. You are consciousness. You are eternal. You are the one waking up from the dream, not the character suffering inside of it. So next time something feels and seems like it's going wrong, remember, the mirror isn't against you, it's for you. It's lovingly showing you more of you. Everything is reflecting you to you. And when you see it that way, life stops feeling like a battle. You can stop judging everything as wrong or bad. And you can start feeling like your journey is unfolding perfectly for you, right? Everything comes at the perfect time, exactly what you're ready for the exact perfect moment. You can't lose. You are infinite, you are divine, and everything is working out because it always has been. And it's how the whole thing is actually set up. If this resonates with you, this is the work that I go deep with my clients in my 1-month transformative coaching program. It's where I help you shift out of the illusion of separation and limitation and awaken into the knowing of your truth as the operant power and the center of your reality. If you're interested, you can find the link down in the description and in the pinned comment. I'm also offering a free consultation for a limited time, so you can book that call, jump on with me. I would love to see you there and, answer any questions that you have. I love the work that I do. I love meeting new people, meeting more people in my audience, and working with new clients. It's very fulfilling, and yeah, it's offered for a limited time. So book the call, and if you're ready, just book the coaching program. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.